Minecraft Neo jumps are my mortal enemy, and I will do everything I can to defeat them. One Minecraft skill I've always enjoyed has been parkour. Perfect when I just want to not think for a while and just jump around. Very relaxing and calming, until I get to a jump I just can't do. Most of the time, the jump I find myself constantly falling in, constantly failing at, is some form of a Neo. Like this one right here. It's not even a full Neo jump. Instead, it's designed as an easier version of a Neo, and I still can't do it. And I want to be able to do this to restore peace to my mind and my parkour runs. You might have heard the expression, practice makes perfect, and that is what I'm going to blindly believe in as I start this journey of trying to perfect my Neos. And I'll probably do some research. So, if you want to see how you can improve your Neos, or just follow my perilous journey to better Neos, this video is for you. But before we do anything else, let's get the basics set up. This is what a generic Neo looks like, where the goal is to jump from one block to another one exactly in front of it. No height changes, no directional displacements, just simply a forward jump. Except, that would be too easy. That's a jump I can do, usually. No, what makes a Neo is that the starting and ending blocks are separated by a tower between them, that the player has to jump around, that I have to jump around. And as you can see, this is difficult, at least for me. Whenever I end up doing these jumps, I inevitably end up wondering why they are called Neos. I mean, anything to stop thinking about how many failed attempts I've had. But you see, I've only ever heard the name Neo in the Matrix movies as the main character's name, and there's just no way they are connected. I stand corrected. They might be connected according to some users on a Hypixel thread. The name might be related to the Neo from the Matrix and his famous bullet dodging scene, as both the dodging and Neo jumps appear to defy laws of physics. Huh, the more you know. But that doesn't really help me improve my Neos. Back to doing Neos and not going on tangents and research rabbit holes. The first change I want to make, to see if I can get better at these, is to extend the platform before and behind the wall so that I have more space to run and to land. This should hopefully make the jump more approachable, and then, once I learn it this way, I can reduce the blocks to get to a full Neo. I also changed my controls for my sprint to be toggled rather than held, so that I have more hand mobility. This is because my first point of improvement is using my left and right keys, because I usually do not touch any keys besides my W, sprint, and jump keys. I feel like that is a big issue, and I should have probably addressed that way earlier. I mean, how have I played Minecraft for years and basically never gone left or right? I feel like this is a bigger issue. But, oh well, I guess it's time to fix that now. So time to see if all this advice has made me any better at the modified, easier Neos. Once I get better at these, I am hoping that muscle memory will kick in for all Neos and I will become quite adept at them, so we have to make sure that we do it correctly a lot of times. And I mean, a lot of times. As you are watching this footage, keep in mind that this is heavily sped up. But I definitely managed to land some of these modified Neo jumps. I could also tell at some points I was starting to repeat the same bad jumps. But occasionally, I was definitely repeating some good moves. But I also have to be honest with you. My problem of not using the A or D key is a real issue. Not in a single one of the jumps I landed did I go left or right. That was until this last one, which was very exciting. And although only about 6 minutes of practice, I already feel as if I'm learning. Some jumps definitely felt as though I could have landed them on a regular Neo jump, but not very consistently. So, more practice is needed. And after I said this, I proceeded to not practice for a week, but I did end up practicing eventually, and that is all that matters. However, I did end up doing some parkour on stream, which you can see a clip of here. And you know what? I'll just let past me talk for themselves. Good to see that my Neo training has been paying off. So while progress was clear, I did really want to work on my WASD training, because I still don't use my A or D keys and I feel like that might be hindering my progress. Plus, I still can't beat every Neo, nor do it every time, so there is room for improvement. The first thing I found for some WASD training was from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where I just found one where there was an object to avoid and went around in circles. And as you can see, the first time I really struggled and lost almost instantly, but after a bit of practice I got slightly better at avoiding the ball. So we have made a little progress, although we will have to see if I actually end up applying this in Minecraft. And then, there's only one thing left for me to do. Practice, practice, practice. Now, as you might be able to see in this epic training montage, I do think I've gotten significantly better. At some point as well, I started only attempting the Neo from left to right. Now I could tell you there's some secret technical reason as to why I did this, but really, I just wanted to practice using my A or D keys, and with my sprint now toggled, I could easier use the A key, so I only did left to right jumps for a while, always using the A key to get some practice. After I did that for a while, I started incorporating the other direction as well. But to keep it interesting, I always used the A key when doing the left to right jumps, and only used mouse movements when doing the right to left jumps. And you know what? I'll be honest, at some points, I started getting stuck in bad movements, failing again and again. It was pretty annoying, I'll be honest. But I took a deep breath, remembered all the training I had done, the correct movements, and I stuck with it. And at the end of this practice session, I actually got a pretty big chain of Neos done without fail after the other. So I contemplated everything for the next few days. What were my next steps? When would I be done? I didn't really have an answer for myself. So I just did what I do best. Played some more Minecraft, practicing my Neo. After a while, I started removing blocks that allowed me to run up and land later. I kept trying it with fewer and fewer blocks, reducing them whenever I felt comfortable in the movements. I wasn't landing every jump, but it was often enough for me. I kept jumping until there was only one block on either side of the wall, a Neo at its purest form. And, with some more practicing, I soon enough landed a couple of these. Now it was back to my age-old question I was contemplating night and day. How did this journey end? In the end, the answer is always simpler than we think. It ends how it starts, with some high-pixel parkour. And I kept jumping and jumping, reveling in the comfortable mindlessness of parkour, until I got to the Neo jump. And before I could think too much about it, I landed it. Just like that, I knew I had reached my goal, and the video was complete. The video is complete. Sure, there's still room for improvement, but I am happy with where I'm at. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and maybe you even learned something from it. Consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this in the future, and as always, if you have any further advice for me, feel free to leave it in the comments below so I can continue to improve my skills. Hopefully I'll see you again very, very soon on another video. Until then, keep smiling. Bye.